I'm not impatient. What the fuck is? Hey, Brian.
Ryan,
Cool.
Ryan, you need to just. This is a song you should listen to. Listen to this song.
It sounds more exciting than what it is.
So let's see how we can lose our next 3 listeners.
Can I tell my goddamn story?
Let's try to work on our people skills.
Can I tell my goddamn story?
Testicles 1, 2. Testicles 1, 2. You're in the meantime with MeanDave here. This is episode 32, if I'm not mistaken. We are on location in Ukiah with this episode. This is going to be a quick one, or at least a quick one for this part. I don't know if there'll be any additional shit to add to this. But in Ukiah, July 5th, this is the recording of this. It'll be uploaded a few days after. But I'm in the backyard of my folks' house in Ukiah. Been here all week for the holiday to get some, just to go to a different place. Been meaning to visit my folks. They're over there watching their internet shit right now, and just about to record another terrible podcast by Comics in Isolation live on Zoom. If you've been enjoying those shows, thank you. Wanted to just film something that was outside of my bedroom, so that's pretty much I think this is gonna be just check out the scenery, check out the digs over here. I mean, it's nice. I don't know what's that. That's part of the umbrella right here. Is the umbrella that hangs over something. I'll show you the whole setup here. You got backyard set up all over the place. You know, see the folks are over there. They're looking at their thing. There's a clothesline right there. You know, so you got the nice universal setup of the great chat. Trying to avoid my T-shirt because my T-shirt is an outdated punk rock organization that I don't want to get any bullshit for, just because I don't care about T-shirts and stuff. And okay, I don't know if any of the shithead punk rocker wannabes these days. What's strange about all the punk rockers is the same as all the local comedy community. They were all of a sudden everybody's either decent people or garbage people, and they're all canceling each other. And I know them from their punk rock days, and they all suck. This past week, we've had some beef, but like more playful beef, but definitely like, you know, passive aggressive beef between friends. My friend Nina G and my friend Eric Summers, they've been going at it all week, which has been really funny. Parents are laughing about that. I had to get rid of an annoying person on my friends list who's a friend of mine, but I think he's drinking too much and being online too much. So, and sometimes you just gotta you know, shoo mosquito shoo. I wouldn't mind so much of just a lot of annoying, unfunny comments, and they get really just annoying, and you just sort of like, you know what, I put you on timeout, and that's what happens. You get put on timeout. What else? It's been a lot of fireworks. That's been something everybody's been, you know, people are still being mindful and going out and doing the protests. Masks, people are, you know, I'm been more on board with masks now, just kind of seeing how things play out. I know earlier when I was recording these newer wave of the coronavirus, the Rona monologues, I was just saying I was just wearing the mask for other people. Well, no, I'm wearing it. Not just, I mean, I'm still wearing it for other people. Not so much wearing it, you know, I still am not that concerned about but I try to be mindful. I'm like visiting the folks. We've been mostly in the same house, social distancing. When we go out or get in the car, we wear the masks together and all that. And just being mindful. I haven't hugged him once. I've been here a whole fucking week. Haven't hugged either of them once. So we're doing good. And for them, that's tough. They're touchy-feely people. Beyond that, it's been really nice all week. Oh yeah, fireworks. Fireworks have been very plentiful. Apparently, illegal fireworks are like strangely legal because they're all over the goddamn place. Even though they didn't have fireworks shows, that were, you know, a lot of those were canceled, but you didn't need them because they were all in your neighborhood. There was a fire in Newark I saw somebody put a video of. I was just hoping it wasn't our house. I haven't heard anything bad from my landlord, so I'm assuming our place will still be there when they go to drop me off tomorrow. But yeah, so far so good. I think we got a checking in. Here, check in. Boom! And there she is. Look at this. Awesome.
That.
You know what's great about this right now? Unlike most of the shows that we know you from, you will not have to mute yourself at all.
I was just going to say that.
Welcome.
You have me well trained.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
We are doing our mega check-in, our mega checking in with, in the meantime, with our guest here, Deneen McGovern. Awesome super fan, comedy super fan, just an all-around awesome person. We also will have another guest joining us here shortly, just so you know.
Oh, great.
A surprise for you. But I wanted to do this because this was actually an idea I had brewing in my head for probably about a month. And just because, obviously with the pandemic that we, have found ourselves in, and just sort of see, there she is. Say hi. There she
Hi,
is.
Nina.
There's a good shot of her boobs.
Nice boobs. Wish I've heard of those.
She's having a good hair day too. She did
Yeah.
trying to get all the mileage we can out of all this stuff. Now she's doing her makeup. All right, Nina, do you know you're on camera and we're recording right now?
Okay.
Yeah, she's not. She's additional, panel help here.
I should do that too.
But, so basically, I met Deneen last year. It's been about a year.
Twice.
Our first meeting was a show that I got asked to do last minute. Like not so much it wasn't the day of, but it was that week. Basically, there was another headliner who was supposed to do it. It was their first show at that venue, and I know how first shows are supposed to be. And then he got offered a gig that really, quite frankly, it was also in a movie theater. He got offered, the other headliner was offered a hosting night at DNA's Comedy Lab, which is basically a movie theater to a comedy club. They probably had the same turnout. Or actually, we probably had a better turnout for our one show than he did for his two shows. But just the way people make decisions, always hastily and all that.
I forgot who that was too.
It was comedian Daoud Namyar. I don't know if you know him.
Oh yeah, no, he was going to be. Well, you were new for me too, but
yeah, you would have met him that night too. He's a funny dude. I'll give him this though. I'll give him that he's funny. For the most part, all right, and all that kind of stuff. But he's a younger dude, so it's like he would have enjoyed the show, and he would have just quickly gotten out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
The thing that was really cool was that I'm one of these people that that night kind of was two things that I'm notorious for. I am a pinch hitting headliner a good half of the time. Half of the gigs that I get these days are like, hey, so-and-so couldn't make it tonight. Could you fucking fill in? So I'm that guy. And I'm also the guy that kicks off a new, if they're doing a brand new show and they don't know exactly what the turnout will be, they're like, get MeanDave. He's good whether it sucks or whether the turnout's like shitty or if it's packed, it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. But then I'm the guy who drives that guy around.
Okay, got it.
He also gets the college gigs that we do.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
She can try and play humble like that. But so that was one of those nights where I didn't know exactly what it was that we were doing. I thought it was a different part of the movie theater. I was familiar with the movie theater, but I didn't know it was going to be in a movie theater, in one of the theaters. And I remember being there to see a movie. And then we roll in there. And the show, we had a good enough turnout to it wasn't jam packed. It was just, but that audience was great. They were it was funny because I remember we were trying to tell them if you got a small crowd, close off, do what DNA does, close off the back part of the theater to put them all in the front. They didn't do that shit, so everybody spaced all over the place. But it didn't even matter because their laughter filled the theater. And then as I got started,
I got right up front.
You were right up front, and I got to know who you were from the get-go. And that was the beginning of what I would say has probably been one of my favorite friendships in because I've come to, well, the thing is, my favorite fans are the ones that just become friends. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've got, this has happened a lot of times where I've become, like somebody sees me at a show, they go they go to shows here and there, and then I get to know them online, and we chat. They hit me up, at various times and stuff, and they're more than just fans. They're friends, and I consider them as such. And so the thing was instantly. We basically had a conversation that I tried to fit my headlining set into. That's what it was. The thing that was great about it was that, and this is one of those things where Nina can kind of she's seen this happen before. I'm not one of these people where if somebody wants to talk to you and you get it in their they're clearly enjoying what's going on. I don't want to kill that energy. Not just because, not because of I don't want to look bad to the rest of the audience. It's because this is probably the most excited person to be at this show.
Always.
And if and the fact is I genuinely enjoy kind of I don't know. I just enjoy one-on-ones when I get a good sense about people. And you were a lot of fun to talk to that night. And it was also, and it was great because the audience was eating it up. And then I would be like, oh yeah, let me tell this joke here. And you would chime in, and it was a lot of fun. And you don't see that very often. And the only reason why that is because you are familiar with comedy.
Oh yeah. And I was trying to behave. When I first started back as an audience member, I was a total asshole. It took me a long time to realize that, and it's not about me, it's about you guys.
Was there a particular person that kind of like, you're like, oh, maybe I should hold back? Or was there any kind of weird situations?
No, it just took time. I think I get real excited. So when I started going to comedy again and slow, and actually Rick Storer and Mike Zalewski were two of the ones I met. Sal Espana puts on a show there forever. And I just started just making little, and everyone was laughing. But later, I would like tape them too, or take pictures. Mm-hmm. And a couple of I go to drag shows too, and then tape things. And then I think I taped something one time, and I could hear myself, and I just was like, "Ew, you're so obnoxious! I hate her. Who is she? Oh, that's me."
So
I just get excited, I think, but I'm still teachable. Even this old dog, I'm always working on myself.
Well, it was the fact that it's really strange because a lot of times I'll tell you what, if Daoud was there, he would have probably gone negative on it, like just knowing him, because he doesn't like to be interrupted. He's one of those kinds because he's young and he's trying to live up to the imaginary comedy career in his head.
But I didn't know him.
No, not at all.
I knew you. We were kind of Facebook friends before because I saw we had common friends. And
that's right. We were Facebook friends before. You did.
Yeah.
You pointed that out.
And I was like, oh, he's from Hayward. And so I was excited when you were the fill-in. Mm-hmm. So people that I don't know, I'm not that way.
You're one of the people you're one of those people that sent me a friend request that because I have a whole queue of people that I don't add right away if I don't know them. And I get a sense of them, and I get a sense to see who they are. And if I see some pictures and I see them, like, okay, and you were one of those people that I added, but I didn't quite know yet. And then sure enough, you were right, because you said, we're Facebook friends. And I'm like, we are? Oh, normally Nina knows I'm pretty.
Because you have so many millions.
No, I mean,
requests, and oh my God, why did you Facebook friend this person? Why did you accept that?
Nina knows. I'll be like,
no, you post about it.
I've been like, why did you add this motherfucker? And she'll be like, oh, that must have been just, an accident or whatever. We've had these chats before.
I'm still waiting for my green card, David.
Your green card?
I'm still waiting.
What
my
green card?
K1 visa.
Your visa?
To friend me. We get. I don't know if Nina knows. Like I have my on private or something, because you just start getting all these foreign guys. I mean, I was not fall off the turnip truck yesterday, so I know all the scams. And the moment I friend them, you know, they look, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hi, how are you? You're so beautiful." I'm like, "I know what you're about. Bye-bye, blocked, reported."
Oh no, they will actually find you on the stuttering forums, and then they'll friend you from that.
Ah, yeah.
You must be desperate, and because she stutters, and then you get them all. So it sucks.
But you know, yeah, you know, you do your due diligence. So I see they just no pictures or very little bit, and they, you know, they get common friends to do that thing. But I was not born yesterday.
So we ended up having a lot of fun at that show. I felt like the combination of just, you know, talking with you and fitting my...
And PX was there, and I'm friends with PX. Yeah.
That was the show by Sean and
Aiden. Yeah.
Sean
and I knew all them. A lot of the audience members know me.
Yeah. And
so I'm kind of a shtick, I guess. I don't know.
But it's one of those things where I think it was I wasn't prepared because I didn't know. I didn't watch. I'm glad I didn't watch too much of everybody's set. I just heard laughter from outside. I'm like, oh, this is a good crowd. And then I don't know how much you talked to PX or if you talked to. I don't think it was at nearly as much. So, but when you started, I forget. I don't remember exactly, but you handed me. You handed me a couple of slow pitch softball like feeds that I got the audience with, and then that was where I was like, okay, she's awesome, and then not only that, we got to talking after the show, and you were saying that you were from Hayward, from the Bay Area. You grew up during the '80s, or you were here during the '80s comedy boom, and so that's why. So I was like, let's get to know the person, because since this pandemic, you've been one of the biggest supporters of our little tiny online comedy community that we've cultivated, and there's been like, I would say, like 4 key people at Nina and my Zoom shows. It's been you, Melanie Calabrese, my friend Jason, and then there's a 4th that I'm forgetting. My friend Luis, who's kind of, what's funny about Luis is a great dude, but he's when he's online and he's drinking, I've had to kind of help him out with some of that stuff, but he's a super cool guy, and so those have been like these 4, and then we have some other ones that have been joining us, but you primarily, the thing was I remember when we were starting to do these, and I'm like, oh shit, Deneen, let me hit her up, because I have like a list of people that I send out to, and from that, it's like I cast a wide net just to see, because some people will check it out if they're free and all that kind of stuff. But one of the most awesome ones is you have been at almost every single one of our things that we've had. And and that's the thing, is and not only that, but you've also been financially supporting, tipping us and all that stuff, just very generous.
What I told Dave earlier, and he didn't.
I didn't get the reference.
Understand the reference, but I said you were like the Medici of the pandemic comedy community. And they were the
Catherine.
Is that a reference to the Renaissance, Catherine? Is that okay? So she just told me what that was.
The Medici, yes, yeah.
Gotcha.
But then, you know, thank you. I've just created a whole new. I started at In Slow, and you know, kind of the resurgence again. I hadn't gone to comedy in like, I think in the 2000s at all, and I've always had a love for it, but. Here started on a smaller venue, but now I've met like Nina and Melanie, and I've added, I call you all my comedy family.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it feels like. You know, that's why I'm like, there's a handful of people beyond just the people I let know about the shows, that if you guys aren't there, I'm like, are you guys all right? Are you there? Are you just want to make sure, because I don't want to. I don't like moving on without like our key people. But
we know.
Like we said, a family.
We know that. Okay, Denise here, so we can start.
That's one, and then the one with Erie, that the other one you do. Those are my 2 mainstays, and she too. Like, we're like a family. I love some of the younger ones that do a few of those. So, You know, I was never a do-gooder, but I kind of found my niche where I like to help local, and this is kind of like my way of giving back
Yeah.
Well, it's
to
completely
the world. So, and but you know, I do it discretion. You know, it's not, I do it because I want to, and it's not for it's how I feel or want to do. And you guys put in the effort, and you know, it just makes me happy. I'm blessed. You know, I had hard times too, but I'm very lucky right now, and have been for a long time, that I can, you know, have some resources to give back. So
I loved
damn time.
I loved when you were when you showed up to the Il Parada show, because
Oh yeah, I know. I love that. I loved your comment.
I'm like, Tony, let her fucking talk. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I was like, Tony, trust me, this is the super fan right here. Do not fucking just engage and welcome her into the fold, because and he
love you in real life. Like, he would just be all over you. But I don't know how he'd be if, like, you start talking online. So I don't know. But it was great.
Oh no, and he sent me a really nice like thing afterwards too. And no, it's just a feeling. And I mean, I think I'm pretty well behaved. I try not to.
No, you're more than
cut in too much. And
it's knowing the comics that me and Nina know, and that's where I think where I love it when we have like somebody that kind of, it reminds us that this is a communicative tool, like, or you know, it's a medium of communication, and that because I think a lot of this wave of comedy doesn't listen to an audience. Like, they think that an audience is just supposed to sit there and react. And the fact is that they're the people that do. Not every heckler is a heckler, or that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Not everybody that speaks up. I've watched a comedian pose a rhetorical question that he didn't even realize that's what he was doing, was posing a rhetorical question. He said a question, and the audience liked him so much and felt comfortable with them. One of them answered his question, and then he proceeded to break character and chew out the girl who answered his question, and then he looked like an asshole doing it. And then he tried to go back into character, being the happy-go-lucky, comedian, and nobody was falling for it, because
I know who that is.
It was Lyle Barnes. I have no problem naming that.
Yeah.
Nah, and he's a funny guy, but it's all a used car salesman act, because and as soon as he breaks it, you see the real monster behind. Like, I'm trying to use this to use you, the audience, not to connect. And so anyways, I wanted to get into and not in like our podcast style. You get the long form. Tell us the history of Deneen.
Who was your first comic that really got you? Like, who's your first
I'm not quite as the like you said, nerd and knowledgeable as you, but let's see, I'm trying to think who some of my first. I have a lot, and I become fickle too, but I mean, I always loved Steve Martin, and just from Saturday Night Live. But we grew up just kind of a comedy family. I mean, I remember Nipsey Russell, and didn't he do Geraldine? And I mean, we watched Laugh-In and the Smothers Brothers and stuff like that. And I like Seinfeld, probably more current. I don't know that I'm as, a lot of the older one. Oh no, I love Rodney Dangerfield. Too many.
Yeah.
Were you
Back to School is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, it's so good. Were you a Seinfeld TV fan, or more a fan of his stand-up? Because
actually TV, but I have sisters too. One of my sisters did. She saw him early days before, the TV time.
Yeah.
And I was always more low. Oh no, I saw Dana Carr. I like Dana Carvey. I got to see him at Rooster Teeth. And actually I saw, like you said, that kind of a similar story for Daoud. I forget the show, but Sinbad won that show that time. It was like the Gong Show or something. And he was gonna
it was the Ed McMahon one.
Oh yes. I forget the name
Star
of it.
Search,
yes.
Oh, okay, Star Search. And he won. And then he was going to play at Rooster T. Feathers, so my mom and I went, but I guess he got called to LA or had a better gig, so we got this Ellen DeGeneres chick filled in
Wow.
for early.
Wow.
And from the moment she opened her mouth, I was like, I love her.
Wow.
So I have like that. And Dana Carvey, before he did the Church Lady, and he's from that East,
he's
South
from
Bay,
North Bay,
San Carlos or
Yeah.
something like
Mhm.
that. So, it's just hard. I just liked a lot. It's funny when you guys still bring up Larry Bubbles Brown, and
he's one of our
yeah,
best.
Johnny Steele, I guess, is still around.
He's still around, yep.
And then I was big on Alex Bennett's show, listening to that. Like, I love Proops and just, I'm trying to think of so many of the locals that the guy that
Capurro.
yeah, Scott Capurro,
Yeah,
Teabag and Babe, yes, yeah. And then the guy that did he ended up doing that caveman one-man show. I forget his name. He started so many that started. I saw Kevin Pollak.
Oh yeah, Kevin Pollak's from around here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby Slayton, Yid Vicious, just so many that it was truly my golden era then, and a lot of them just went off to do so much stuff.
You grew up, because one of the things you always love reminding me, you were born in Hayward?
I was actually born in Providence Hospital in Oakland, which is on Peel Hill. It's not there anymore. And then I was a Berkeley baby for a year. We lived on Alston Way. And then my sister Shannon, the one that's, married to Jimmy, for your side, is we're what are called Irish twins, because we're not quite 12 months. We're like 11 months and something years apart. So she was born, and then eventually we moved to Hayward, but grew up in Hayward. Went to actually Schaefer Park Elementary through, I think, 3rd grade. Then I went to All Saints Elementary, Moreau High School.
Moreau! My sister went there.
Yeah. I think it's back when it was green, back in the old days. I don't know what it is now. And then I went to Cal State Hayward, because we lived on D Street on the corner right across from All Saints Church. So I take my little bug up Highland Drive and go to school. It'll always be Cal State East Bay, Cal State Hayward, not East Bay.
Not East Bay. Yeah, exactly.
And I saw when they imploded the administration building, it was like, it's probably so different now.
I can't believe, because it's such an iconic thing. It's like Cal taking down their tower. Like, I don't know why they would do that.
And they filmed American Graffiti too, a lot of it on campus there.
Really?
Yeah, because going there with my friend. Oh, there's the science building. There's Michael John Hall.
I'll have to watch. Because
cool. The second one, there's the sequel. They filmed some of it over on the campus there. So.
Yeah. So, and then one of the other things I was curious, because again, we know you as the comedy fan. What the hell do you do? You said, when I was setting this up, I love, you're like, well, it has to be after 5 because I got to work tomorrow. I'm like, what does Deneen do for work? I don't know any of these things. So
right now, I've been there for 20 years. I actually work for, it's Aetna Healthcare, but we're CVS Health because we got bought out. And I actually, I have the arduous drive from my living room to the next room to work. I've been work at home. So I've been a work at home for like 10 years.
Nice.
Oh,
and I'm used to all this. We have WebEx meetings and things like that. So
was it a little bit easier to kind of adjust to finding a comedy life online because you already had a work life online?
Yes. It actually, this was, and actually for me, meeting you guys as I moved, lived in Hayward, in Castro, that area, East Bay area, Castro Valley, Dublin, my whole life. And then in 2016, my mom, who's passed, but she moved to Arizona to be with my brother. So I moved down here. And then the first year I just, didn't know anyone. I didn't go do anything. And I just the next year I got sick of just sitting at home. So I made myself go to a comedy show by myself, and the rest is history. But Yeah, so I'm actually now, I've worked there for 20 years. I started doing like data entry, and then I was what they call a care management associate, but now I'm an analyst for fast track appeals for Medicare.
Wow.
So, and my mom was a lifelong nurse. So I think that's when I got the job too. I interviewed with 2 nurses and just really bonded with them. And it just, I kind of kicked around my 20s and 30s. So this is, once I finally got this, I said, I'm going to stay. And I think I'll make it there through retirement. So
Wow.
very, very lucky, lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was that what you went to school for, or is that what?
I was actually I was a liberal studies major.
So you wanted to be a teacher?
No, I just could never figure out. I always liked everything.
Oh, and that explains it, that like you understand references any which way.
Right. I love everything.
well-rounded.
Yes. I like I just have always been interested in everything.
You
So
make
a
references
liberal
that
arts.
we don't get. Like, I gotta look shit up from Deneen's references sometimes.
Yeah, no, totally, right? No,
Yeah.
it's because a liberal arts person is the ideal audience, I guess.
Yeah.
I think
Nina knows, she gets me.
Yes.
Game
Yeah, and I
reference.
just never, I was never one of those that really ever had a passion for anything. Pretty much our family, and we're all good with that. None of us ever want, my mom was a nurse. No way I've never wanted to be a nurse. I did work in like dietary in hospitals, but and usually back in the day, I graduated in 1980. It was like you could just, if you had a college degree back then, you could just get a job, some kind of an admin job or something. But it was hard for me to kind of find my niche. So I did a lot of temp work in my 20s, and then I actually finally got a job over at Chevron in San Ramon. We call it Chevron Park. Again, just kind of a support, but that's kind of in my 30s where I kind of was a late bloomer, and I met interesting
Deneen,
going to comedy and stuff.
There we go.
Repeat what you just said. Yeah, pause for a second. So.
Yeah, I worked at Chevron from 92 through 96.
Okay.
I got in there from a temp job and just met a lot of really fun, interesting people, and had
not a gas station. You were working for the company.
The
right?
company, yeah.
Gotcha.
And then they offered, and I got burnt out, and they offered like early retirement. And that was when the internet first took off, because I got my first gateway computer in 96 with the 24K modem.
Wow.
And I was really getting into, I had AOL, and I didn't do the early stuff, but it was right when the internet was coming on. So of course, then I thought, I'm going to be a web designer or learn HTML. But it didn't pan out. So I did a lot more temp work until 2000. And then I got the job that I have now, which you don't get that way anymore, because I just answered an ad in the newspaper for data entry, and I got a call and got the job.
Wow. You must have been at the tail end of when they put ads into it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And just to get that, it's just, I have nephews now, and they, it's hard to find work and things like that. So finally things just kind of took an uptick. So that the time I was at Chevron was I was a late bloomer. So I kind of found some of my people there and went to comedy and went out a lot. And then kind of in my 2000s, I was just kind of, just kind of pretty much always kept to myself anyway. Didn't go out a lot, but then I came here. And then once I started going to comedy, that just kind of, and making myself go other places, that just kind of opened a whole new thing. But yeah, I like music, and I'm friends with all the drag queens here. I like going to their shows, but seems like comedy is my first love. So when I went back to it here to just see the first show too, I kind of had some, not trepidation, but I thought, I'll be polite, but how good is it going to be in the San Luis Obispo? And it was good.
That's great. No, it's
was
funny.
Actually good.
That sounds like a Bay Area snob.
You saw who I saw growing up.
Not that I stopped. Because I used to go there for like pretty often between somewhere around like 2013 and 15. I was there a number of times because I'm friends with Michael Zaleski, and then I only did like I think one or two shows in the years after that. I hadn't been there often at all, and I'm good, very good friends with Michael. I just it's just difficult to coordinate. I don't drive, and so he had his place. Actually, the last time I think I was there was sometime. I would go to Kreuzberg when they did the Kreuzberg coffee shop show.
That was before, but I heard about that.
Okay, so because
I have friends from back in that day.
The last time I went there, Michael wasn't even running the show that night. It was Nina's wedding on in 2016, and I think I might have done one other show after that, but I don't know. I can't say. But I hadn't been there very often, and I always meant to. And so I know Michael was doing well, and Rick Storer I met. Those guys, whenever they would come up here, I had a couple of cool little rooms that I ran out here that they would be able to roll through. But yeah, so like just by happenstance getting to do that one show on that one particular night, and then meeting you, and then just having a really cool chat afterwards. You bought some buttons.
Yeah, I know. I have them.
Awesome. I got a what size T-shirt do you wear? I imagine.
Probably like a medium. I like them kind of roomy.
Okay, well,
I know you told me that. I still remembered. You're so sweet. Then
I have an extra. I only have extra larges left of this one of my.
Don't worry about it.
Huh?
But
and then why did you ask her what her shirt size was?
Just because I might make some more, and if I do, I'm gonna
or whatever. It could be a nightshirt. I think.
Exactly. I'll figure something out. That's what.
Let me ask you guys then, because then I think when I started going here, probably I think my first show I went was in 2018. And I guess maybe had comedy been going on that much in the Bay Area, like when I was there, or was I think it seemed like it's really been surging these last few years. Unless I just wasn't aware of the Bay Area scene.
Nina and I are part of like the class of 2010. We started in 2010, and at that time there was a local comedy boom. Primarily, my theory was the economy when it was tanking as a result of the response to the banking crisis.
Yes.
And then everybody went shithouse on the economy. A lot of people lost jobs, and with lost jobs come people with spare time, unemployment, and they're like, I never thought maybe I should try doing comedy. And so Nina and I at around that time had started at the same time. And it wasn't like it was a quality comedy scene, but there was stuff there.
Bringer shows.
There were a lot of bringer shows, and there were budding people. There were people that were thriving who were part of the class of the 2000s.
Okay.
Like Ali Wong, she was moving.
Ali Wong, like I saw her.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Yeah. It was right before she hit.
And Bill Burr was becoming was now going from being like a club headliner to like an auditorium, like auditorium headliner. Like he was transitioning from being a guy that was headlining Punchline to like headlining Cobb's to headlining John C. Davies Hall, that kind of thing. And so, but it still was like 2010 was the start of that. And what has really, I don't know, Nina can probably, I don't know, I don't want to speak for Nina, but we've seen the growth of what I would call the DIY scene, the do-it-yourself scene, which is the scene that you came into contact with in San Luis Obispo.
Yes.
It's primarily where I think comedy will thrive for a while.
Which it has online.
It has. Well, that's what online is all about. It's
that's why you're so important in this, because it's people like you who can support this.
Yeah. Well, you guys are the next iteration. A lot of my friends here, some of them are younger. They just don't have I guess they don't have the resources to do any of the Zoom shows here.
Well, I think they do. The thing about it, they do. it's not that expensive to pay for Zoom per month, or you can run a free one. Like I got the free package or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not. The trouble is people in comedy, they're very narrow-minded. The comedians tend to be
Yeah. See, you got
narrow-minded when it comes to just anything outside. You'll see them be resistant to anything that takes them out of a comfort zone, and the whole job is all about trying to adapt outside your comfort zone.
That one friend you said, what is it, Boyles? Sean, I don't know.
Sean Boyles, exactly.
Yeah.
None, and
why'd you bring up him?
well, she knows who he is. I mean, I've only made fun of him on half my mean times, and then he popped in on our show and tell show, and
and went to criticize it, and I said him.
No, you guys are the front runners. I just have, you guys were some of the first ones, and you're seeing what the next, or like, what was it? Rudy Ortiz. He was very well, and he said, I said, adapt or die. You got to learn. And you guys were all
What's funny about Rudy is he says that, but he doesn't want to. That's what's so funny about him. Like he knows that this is like something he needs to get comfortable with, and he doesn't want to do it. And I respect for that. It's
gonna be this new way of living is not going to go away.
No, not anytime soon.
It's not. No. And I'll just say from my point of view, and being a big comedy fan, this has been nirvana to me, because I can't drive. I see you guys playing everywhere, and it's like, I'm not going to drive 4 hours to San Jose or whatever to go out to San Rafael to see Griffin. I love all you guys, but I'm not in the Bay Area anymore. So I just have to wait till you guys come here. But now I get to catch up with you all. And I still feel like with this, I don't mind being on the screen. We're still interacting.
Totally.
And I finally meet Nina, it's just going to be just the fifth. We're going to hug, and it's just going to be the same, but only in real life.
Totally.
Well,
I got a few more minutes on this thing, and I wanted to let you know that Donnelly, we love you. I mean, I love you personally. We love you. Yeah. Not just as a comedy fan, but as a friend. You're an awesome person, Nina. Also, I believe Nina will. This is kind of like one part. This is my meantime checking in segment. My Mega-Checkin In with you to introduce people to what an awesome audience member looks like. But also, Nina has her show, that comedy time capsule, which I think you're familiar with. Yes.
I've got bits and pieces. I'm following. I liked your webpage.
And I believe she will. She would like to invite you to be a guest on and interview as like one of the key people that's kind of been a big part of the comedy in the quarantine.
Yeah.
So, I'd love that.
Similar to this, so I'll wait. So all this seems more spontaneous, but
without me talking so much, because I talk most of it on my show. Yeah, exactly.
I know. Dave gets on me for being a yacker, and it's I have to get a word. So to get a word in.
Why I love you. That's why I love you.
I'm like.
Like my
and please edit. Feel free to edit or however.
This is going.
I blather. I talk fast.
Raw. This is going to be just as raw as necessary.
Okay.
So perfect. So
okay.
Thank you very much, Deneen, for sharing.
Okay. Love you guys.
Tonight and always.
Bye, David. Bye, Nina.
You have a great
Adore
night.
You all.
We'll talk to you soon. And
okay.
In the meantime.
Bye.
All right. There you go. So there's a check-in. I think we got another one too. Cool. All right. Yeah, what's crazy? There's bees. Yeah, it's amazing now to live in a time where like bees are your friends. Because we've heard about the murder hornets, which are like as big as your palm. So if I saw a murder hornet, it would technically be about that big. But hornets suck in general. It's not strange. But bees are strangely intuitive. I didn't know this about bees. I was afraid of bees growing up. But it was yellow jackets that really were the motherfuckers, and I don't really care for those. A lot of pets traumatized every year, around this time, which is great. That's what this whole subject of the divide between my friend Nina G and Eric Summers. I don't know exactly how this beef started, but then it picked up with Nina telling a joke about wanting to hear louder fireworks to keep to cover up the dog barking, and Eric Summers making kind of a similar joke, but I don't even remember. Yeah, these are my friends, but I'm always gonna be on Nina's side over Eric, even though I love them both equally. But it's just funnier to make fun of my friend Eric than Nina. Well, I did some fun shows. We had some good shows. You can still Mordred acting the fool. See that, and it was pretty enjoyable. I had to say it was much more enjoyable than not that I anticipated. I mean, I was hoping for the best, but I had a good time being around. One thing that did kind of trip me up though, and I didn't tell anybody about this, but the sound guy. This really cracked me up. You know, we're all wearing the masks. We're doing the coronavirus shit and all that stuff, and the sound guy, who's an older dude, seemed healthy, but he's an older, crusty dude. And I have a wireless mic, and the guy goes, "Okay, I need you to test the wireless mic." And so he turns it on. He goes, "I got it turned on here," and he literally puts his mouth on the fucking thing, test, like test. He's touching he's giving it head, just basically testing the microphone. And then without missing a beat, he's like, "All right, so here you go, you test." And I'm like, and I don't want to be rude, which but at the same, I really should have been a little more aggressive in kind of like, "Hey, does anybody got a wipe so I can wipe this dude's fucking lip starch off the goddamn mic before I start talking on it or inhaling all this shit?" But I don't know. I just didn't want to seem like a wiener, so I just held it away from my face and talking into it. And he goes, "No, you can hold it close to your face." I'm like, "I'm not a rapper. I'm a comedian, so I need to hold the microphone further away." And then as soon as he was away, I wiped the fuck out of it. I couldn't find any wipes, any of the cleanser wipes until, of course, after everything was over. Then I found a whole heap in two batches right by the cooler with all the drinks and shit. So that was strange. I got a fly right here. But yeah, beyond that, it was, and I'm okay. It seems like, so I don't think I have COVID. A few more people got sick or have gotten sick with it. Bay Area is doing pretty good. Other areas, California and other areas that are, it's been getting out more and all that shit. Who knows? But beyond that, yeah, it's just been a nice week of R&R. I have to say, it's look at this place. I mean, it's gonna be sad miss. I was gonna try to stay here for 2 weeks, but I've got to reapply. I got to make sure my application for my my EBT is in, and I got to do a phone interview with those assholes. They were supposed to do it last week, but they never called me. So got to make sure that my professional comedy career is still fueled by the government and my EBT card, which I know is going to be more difficult in this current time because of all of the. There's a lot of people out of work. There's a lot of people. I fortunately haven't had to depend on any unemployment, which is great. Even because technically I'm self-employed. Didn't have to lie to anybody or get anything to get any benefits or anything else like that. I am perfectly within the realm of being worthy to receive government assistance for food with the EBT program, and I'm all for it. So, well, worst case scenario, I think I could probably survive 2 without it. I just don't want to have to. If I qualify, I want that shit. Anyway, what else? I don't have any hard hitting thoughts or anything else like that. I don't have any hot takes. Nothing. I mean, look around. Look at all these. Look at these fucking trees right here. Look at feel the wind. You can see it's so fucking serene right here. Just fucking beautiful here. There's even a Buddha over there. Look, I'll show you. There's a Buddha right over there. If you look, it's right there. It's. Let's see if I can point to it with my hand right here. It is right there. See it? It's right there. It's so small, because it's off in the distance, but that's where it is. So, cool little Buddha. Oh, I'm gonna get that. I don't want to see my stupid shirt. No one's gonna care about the shirt, but it's whatever. So, yeah. So there's really not much else to really tell. If I can think of anything, I'll record something later. Yeah. Just try to stay healthy, stay safe, wear a fucking mask. If you want to donate to the show, I mean, it's not much for show. Check out some of the past episodes. Some of you haven't watched all, haven't been keeping up. We do these every 2 weeks now. You know, check out some of the. I got some great episodes there in the past few weeks, and you should watch them. Yeah, but yeah, feel free to donate to the show here. You know, the fucking Venmo and the PayPal and all that stuff has been great. But yeah. Other than that, just feel showed you the backyard. Shit, what else is there? Yeah. Good day to you. Kick the music there, Captain Three Legs.